Well, good morning and thanks for watching. The first thing we're going to do today is check on the garden. So come along, let's take a look. Well, let's just start with this little bed right here. What we have here is a garlic. You remember watching, we planted our garlic, and it looked like about all the bulbs came up. Looks like there might be 3 or 4 that didn't do good. They're doing real well. Our little dab of kale. If you remember when I started the seed, I just had a few seed left over from, I've been planting out of that little pack for the last 2 or 3 years. So that's all the seed I had left. So instead of wasting them, we planted them, and here we got a little kale going. Now if we'll swing around here, my jalapeno plants right there, we had a little frost last week, and the frost got my jalapeno plants, so I pulled them up, put them in the tub right there, did away with them. And I really like peppers, jalapeno and cayenne, so I've planted a couple of late ones in these 2 pots right here, in these 2 buckets. And I'm going to try to see how long I can keep them alive. When the weather gets cold, I can take them in the garage and then bring them back out on these sunny days. So we're going to see if that's going to work out for me. All right, so moving on down the line, this first bed right here, Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts seem to be doing well. I struggled the last couple of years with Brussels sprouts. They've grown but not produced. So we can see if going to see if we can rectify that situation this year. Now the next bed, broccoli. Broccoli seem to be doing okay. One problem we're having right now is the weather has warmed back up. It got cool last week. As I said, we had frost one night. But now it's warmed back up, and we're back up bumping 80. And these brassicas do not like hot weather. So I'm giving them a little drink of water every evening, so they're doing okay. But it's supposed to cool back down in a few days, so hopefully that'll help them. But broccoli's looking okay. Collards. Now the collards, they're doing great. Why don't you look at there? We're gonna have enough collards to feed the whole community. Because I've got some more inside I'll show you in a minute, but collards are doing real well. Cabbage. Before, when I planted this garden, I didn't plant anything here. So if you watched, you said I wasn't sure if I was gonna plant anything or not. But I did. I decided to put a little cabbage out. So I've got a little planted here. So they seem to be doing okay. Let's just see how they do. Now I've still got my cayenne pepper there. The frost knocked it back just a little bit, but didn't get it. But it is about to go. So everything outside here is doing really well. So let's look under the roof and see how those things look. Okay, back inside here, under our cover, more collards. Collards there. Those are going to be our top crop. They seem to be doing real well. And down this whole side over here, we've got collards. Gonna be some top bunch collards. Gonna move on down and got to have some Georgia collards. So we have got collards. I'm gonna tell you what's the truth. I don't know what we're gonna do with all of them, but we have got them. So over here, I want you to look there. I've got a bunch of seedlings left over, and I'm not gonna throw them away. I've got a little place on the other side I'll show you in a minute where we had some sunflowers planted this spring. So I'm going to hit it a lick with a tiller. Just bunch them all in there. I'd rather do that and see what we can salvage out of them than to just toss them. And right there I started 2 cayenne pepper plants. So I planted the other one out here, see how it would do late. So let's get around here, till up that little spot where we can get these planted. But everything else, if you look around, everything else is doing fantastic. Can't complain about them. So right here in this corner is where we planted some sunflowers back in the spring. And nothing going there this fall, but this next spring we're gonna make a little permanent bed out of it with some shrubs and flowers and things. But nothing here right now, so it'll be the perfect place to put all those leftover seedlings out. So I'm gonna get that tub out of the way right there, get my little tiller, hit it a lick, rake it smooth, and we're gonna start planting. Okay, well here we are back. I took that little Manus tiller right there, hit it a lick, took my rake, gave it a quick little raking, and brought my seedlings out, and we get ready to plant. Now I'm going to do something that is really out of character for me. I've always wanted to pull a string, get my rows straight, take my tape measure, measure with it all spaced equally, and all that. I've always just been funny like that. But on this little spot right here, we're just going to set them out sporadically and plant them and see what happens. I've got nowhere else to put them, nobody to give them to, so it's either to place them, plant them, or throw them out. So let's set them around where we're going to put them. We've got them all set around roughly where I want them. Majority of them are broccoli. All those in the red cups, and plus a few of the little black ones, are broccoli. Got a few collards left over, and 4 little puny Brussels sprouts. I don't know if they're going to make it or not. But we're going to put them all out and see what happens. Well, there you go. There are our seedlings that we had left over. We had nowhere to plant them. We've given away everything people want. So instead of throwing them out, we just plant them over here in this little spot. Now whether they grow or die, we'll have to wait and see. But anything we get out of them will be a bonus. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do. I'm going to give them a little drink of water later on this evening. And we'll just watch them with the other garden as we go along. Well, that's all the gardening we're going to do today. But one more thing I want to show you before I let you go. If you remember back a few weeks back, I had some eggs in the incubator. And I hatched out some chicks. Well, it just so happened the first one started to hatch that afternoon that Tropical Storm Helene was going to roll through. We lost power, finally got the generator back up and going, got power back. And I don't know if that's what caused it or not, but we had a bad hatch. But we ended up with 7 chicks. And I hadn't shown them to you since then, so let's go take a look at them. Well, here they are. Now, if you watched my chicken house video several months back, you saw where I had showed where I built this little pen inside the pen several years ago, and it's worked out real well. And I kept these chicks in the house in a box for the first few days just to let them acclimate a little bit. Weather warmed up, and then I got them out here. Let me raise the lid and hook it up. Got a little latch right there where I can latch it up. Same thing on that side. But what I've got, I got my little place that works out really well. If you can see the chicks down there, they're feathering out, they're doing great. Now I do have a heat lamp right here that I ran for a few days, but the weather's warmed up, they feathered out some, so they're doing great. No problem. This little area works so good for a couple reasons. One thing, it gives me a place to put them. And number 2, the other chickens are in and out here to eat and at night to roost, and they're acclimated to them. They get to know each other. If you know that I keep my chickens, they free range. When they go out that hole right there, they've got the whole farm they can roam around on. Now, if you wonder why I got that door down shut so close, because when the goats are little, they'll come in here and eat the chicken feed if you don't keep it where they can't get in here. But they're the chicks. As I say, if you raise chicks on a regular basis, I'd recommend doing something like this because it really works great. Got their feed and water in there. They're out of the weather. They get used to the big chickens. The big chickens get used to them. And when I turn them out, there will be no problems. So there is your chicken update. Well, that's all for now. Just a little short video. Wanted to show you what we've been doing, give you an update on the garden. Everything's going well there. Show you what I was going to do with my leftover seedlings. Now we'll have to wait and see how they do. Hopefully we'll get something out of them. And an update on the baby chicks. They're doing really well. Sun's shining, everything's going well. We're still playing catch up from the tropical storm Helene. There's still a lot of trees down, fences down that we're kind of pecking out a little bit at a time. But anyway, we'll get it. Everything's getting better, trying to get back to normal around here. So anyway, until next time, hope you have a great week.